All right, we're back at it. In the last video, we talked about the intake and exhaust valves and getting those shimmed. I was able to do all the math and get all the shims figured out. I pulled the cams. Once I went through and pulled all the clearances, they were all off. So I just pulled the cams, took them out one by one, and then moved them over to the bench where I made a chart that I used when I was doing my Tacoma a few years ago on my 3RZ. I learned how to make a chart to make my life easy and organized. Anyway, I was able to solve the intakes. I got that put in, and then that freed me up to finish the rest of the intake side today. So got the new wiring harness in, all the plumbing. I got the injector rail in. Everything's hooked up and connected. Wire harness is ready to go. Underneath, all the temperature sensors, pressure sensors, grounds, fuel filter, fuel lines, all that's complete. So everything under there is done. And then over here, I'm not doing anything on the exhaust side. I use that as a step. Actually get in and then sit here, and I'm able to work on the intake and the exhaust. As I mentioned, the exhaust is not in. We've got to get a new shim bucket here that's broke. Almost missed that. I'm glad I caught it. And so we're going to get that ordered. Can't order it until Monday. It'll take about 2 days. I think he said there's a few in LA. The shims themselves, you can get at your local dealer, and it's not a big deal. They normally have them in stock. But yeah, gonna leave the timing chain disconnected to manipulate the cams without having to turn the crank. And then the new wiring harness is it's in. That's done. That turned out great. Over here on this side, you can see how nice the new connectors are compared to the old one here, which it did great, but there's some not so great splices and things like that. But all in all, everything was still in pretty good shape, and I'll package this up and just put it away. Those of you with 80 series Land Cruisers know that the wire harness with the EGR can be an issue. So I had mine wrapped in silver reflective tape, and then I went ahead and put titanium exhaust tape on it just in case. This time around, what I was able to do was the new wiring harness has upgraded heat shield, and then the EGR there, I actually wrapped that in titanium tape just in case that ever comes loose. But yeah, everybody with these Land Cruisers know to keep a really close eye on that. So I took the opportunity to retorque everything. I retorqued the head, and I was able to retorque the intake side. So yeah, that turned out great. And then I'll swing you around over here, my messy shop. So here's the sort of thing I make for all my valves, and it allows me to keep track of everything that I've got. So when I actually pull a valve, I go ahead and I write down which bucket it came out of, how thick the valve is, and then this tells me the clearance. So this is how much clearance I had. Anyway, I'm able to keep track, and I was able to actually solve the intake by using other valves and using like number 7s that were close to 6 and vice versa. So yeah, I pulled this out just to show you guys. So as an example, I had an issue with my smallest feeler gauge was 0.051, and it was less than that. It was tighter than that. So when you come over here to the chart, you see that it's either a shim 1 or 2, and that was kind of an issue for the clearance I had, being not sure. So I had a couple of these, and to be safe, I'm going to get a 1 or a 2. And the same thing happened over here for a 4 or a 5 and a 1 or a 2. So I'll have a couple extra shims. Yeah, I've got a bunch of leftover Tacoma shims from my 3RZ build, but I thought they were the same size. They're not. They're quite a bit smaller. So I thought I had spares, and I don't, and we'll work it out. So that's it. If you're working on your 1FC, good luck. Don't be afraid to work on it in the truck. I could have pulled the block, and I didn't. It wasn't too bad. That's it. Good luck. Take care. Bye-bye.